First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, all glory, all honor, all thanks unto the Most High, unto the Abba, Yahweh, my strength and my power, yet again for another truly glorious, blessed moment, right? And I'm going to jump straight into this lesson, and this is going to be like a, you know what I'm saying, a little quick lesson. It's really not, none too deep, none in depth. I'm just going to be touching on a quick topic that's at hand that you understand the minds of the masses need to understand this word. And you understand me, the origin of the word witchcraft. You understand? So now this is essential for salvation to understand the meaning of witchcraft. You understand me? Because in order to combat something, you have to understand it first, right? In order to go against something, you have to understand it, the whole meaning of it. You can't examine some of the matter. You have to examine the whole thing, right? So the Most High enlightened my eyes and showed me the true matters of the things pertaining to witchcraft. Therefore, I'm going to break it down to you and show you the true meaning of witchcraft according to the Bible, right? According to it as it was of old. So you can understand the true meaning of witchcraft, right? So now we're going to jump straight into the scriptures. I'm going to go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse. I'm going to start straight at verse 10, right? And it reads, book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 10. There shall not be found amongst you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, right? Or use divinations, or an observer of time, or an enchanter, or a witch. So in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10, all of these things that are aligned together, they are synonymous. Meaning what? They all are hand in hand with each other. They all are in agreement. You understand me? They are lined up together. You can't have one without the other. You understand me? There shall not be found amongst you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire. So a man that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, more than likely this man is going to be, or this man or woman is going to have some type of evil communication with using divination or observing of time or enchantment or a witch. You understand me? Because all of these things are hand in hand. The Lord didn't tell you all of these things in this, you understand me, one verse just for no reason. So you can brush on past everything else and jump straight down to a witch. No, all of these things are synonymous. Once you do witchcraft, you're doing a plethora of things that, you understand me, that are against your nature, right? When I say witchcraft, you understand, I'm going to break it down to you, right? So now, let me break it down to you. There shall be none found amongst you that maketh his son or daughter to pass through the fire. So now, what were they doing in the ancient times? In the ancient times, they had groves and things of that nature that they would sacrifice their children, right? And you got to look all this up for yourself. You got to get into, you understand, you got to get into the scriptures and get into the story, right? Seek out the things of old that our foremothers and forefathers went through, and the things that they used to do, and the things that, you understand me, that was cursed for according to the Bible, according to Deuteronomy chapter 28, right? So the Lord gave us a certain a way of life, gave us a certain standards, statutes, laws, and commandments to govern us for our own well-being, right? So what did the Lord tell us not to do? He told us not to, basically in layman's terms, he told us not to sacrifice our children through the fire, because that was a damn heathenistic custom that they were doing, the Canaanites, right? And it's no different than today, you understand, right? Pass through the fire. Now, you don't have to pass literally through the fire, but that's literally what they was doing, offering up their children for sacrifices to damn idols and things of that nature, right? Or use divination. You understand me? All type of false idols and seeking other gods, so-called. You understand me? Things of that. Zeus. All these type of trash. You understand? Or an observer of time. So you understand me? You trying to see what's going on with the times. You trying to yada yada yada. You trying to count things that are too high for you. Things of that nature, right? Or an enchanter, right? You trying to conjure up spells and understand what all type of spells and things of that nature, right? or an enchanter, or a witch. Bam. So that's what we're speaking on. Topic is going to be a witch, but all these things are synonymous. So you understand me? When you get a chance, look up all of these words one at a time. Okay, now witch, right? Let's go into the okay. Now we're gonna go into the Strongs real quick. Right. So now we're going into the Strongs, the Blue Letter Bible. We're going to the Strongs just to look up to verify what word is in the scripture right here. 18 verse 10. Okay. Sloppy. Sloppy. Hold on. Something going on right now. Phone acting up right now. Okay, Salaki. Phone acting up right now. But anyway. Let's look at what this word witchcraft means, right? Well, let's look up what the word witch means, right? So the word witch, right? Witch, from the Old English Wicca, right? Old English Wicca, masculine, wick, feminine, right? Means what? Sorceries, right? Enchanters, let's see, let's give you a sentence or something like that. Say a woman thought to have magic powers, especially evil ones, popularly depicted as wearing black cloak and pointed hat and flying on a broomstick, right? Because that's all of that is animation, all of that is cartoons and fairy tales and witchcraft. All of that in itself is trash right there. Anything you see on TV, the depiction of witches and flying on a broom and casting spells with a wand, all of that is folly and madness. That's witchcraft. That's propaganda. You understand me? It's an illusion to throw you off what the real witchcraft is. You understand me? When you turn on the TV and you put on that damn Disney Channel show, that's witchcraft right there. You understand me? You don't need a wand to do witchcraft. You don't need a damn hat, and you don't need a flying broom to do no witchcraft, right? So now, that's just me breaking it down in the English form, right? Just the word witch. Now let me go to craft and break that down. Origin of the word craft, right? The word craft, in Old English craft, right? Meaning strength or skill, right? Originally in the expression small craft, small trading vessels, right? Referring to vessels requiring a small amount of craft or skill to handle, as opposed to large ocean-going ships, right? So that's different forms of craft. But this craft, we know what it's mean, right? An activity involving skill, making things by hand, right? So that's one way of origin of the word craft. That's one meaning for the word craft, right? Here's another meaning, right? Skills used in deceiving others, right? Because witchcraft, right? So you use what you know to deceive others. That's the whole thing of witchcraft is trickery, right? Deception, deceit. You understand me? The of a slight hand. You understand me? To fool whoever you trying to fool. You understand me? To fool the mind of the ignorant. Basically, that is what witchcraft is, right? Yeah. So okay. So now we got the origin, the meaning of the word witch, and the origin of the meaning of the word craft. So now we can now let's get back into these scriptures, right? Now let's see why the Lord now that we understand the word witch and craft, you understand me? Witch meaning what? You understand me? A warlock or a wizard, a thing, something like that, right? Craft meaning what? To do your work. So you're a witch or you're a warlock, meaning you're some type of sorcerer that conjures up spells to deceive the minds of the foolish, basically, right? In the layman's term. And what did the Lord say in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10? There shall not be found amongst you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire. So now, how do we equate that in 2020, right? To the scriptures of old, right? 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, 3,000 old scriptures, right? 1611. So now, how do we equate that to this day and age? How are our brothers and sisters of Israelite descent, of Negro descent, doing what? Making his son or daughter pass through the fire, right? By means of witchcraft, because I told you all of these things are one. So if you make your child pass through the fire, that's a form of witchcraft in itself, right? Because you're crafting your work, you're perfecting your work. You understand? You making sure, okay, this is how they did it in the times of old. Okay, this is how I'm supposed to do it. Before I sacrifice my child, let me do it with a couple of, you know what I'm saying? Let me do a couple test trials. You know how Americans get down, right? Let us do a couple vaccines on you and things of that nature, right? So now, as I say, how do we equate that from them ancient times to now? So now,